In this video, I'm going to show you how to use the open base basketry technique to create a cat's head base where you have 4 little feet on each corner of your base that kind of sit up and prop the basket up. This is a fun base to work with, and you can do it in a variety of different shapes and ways. In this series, I'm going to be showing how to do a cat's head basket in a round shape, doing alternating stripes of 1/4 inch and round reed. So we'll be playing around with some weaving techniques, that base, and finishing off a rim. This is a multi-part series, so be sure to check the description below for all the videos in this series as they come out. Sign up for my email update list for info on basketry and fiber arts. We do have this kit in our shop, Textile Indie Shop. You can find that linked in the description below as well. Welcome to Basket Weaving with Textile Indie. My name is Brittany. I'm the basket weaver and fiber artist behind this channel. Your first step, as always, is to cut your stakes and mark the centers in preparation for getting started with this basket. For the full pattern cut list and all the materials and tools lists you will need for this basket, you can find them in our instruction manual for purchase linked in the description below. If you want that, you can head down there. We also have this with some extended steps in our Textile Indie Collective, an online membership for basket weavers and fiber artists, also in the description below. For the base of this basket, we're going to work half of our stakes. So go ahead and split your number of stakes in half. Set aside one half and you'll work with the other. Now I'm going to lay these out parallel in front of me, making sure to reference that center mark and lining them up right next to each other. I like to keep a little bit of a space in between because that will set me up for weaving in the other direction. Also, use your spoke weight to hold these down in place as you're working. If you've done the cross stitch napkin basket with me, this is going to look familiar. This is the open base basket technique where we weave a grid pattern with a little bit of space in between. So I have my first set of stakes laid out here in front of me. I'm now going to grab my second set and weave these from one side of the center marks out and then the other side out. So I'm going to do 3 on one side of the center mark, 3 on the other side. And because we're working with an even number of stakes, this center mark is going to be between stakes here and just to one side of the center mark here on these perpendicular stakes. Now, starting out, it doesn't matter whether you start on an over or an under. We'll just make sure to do opposites for each stake. So I'm going to go over and then under, over, under, over, under. Then slide this through. Get this center mark, center between these two stakes, and just offset it a little bit from the center marks on these perpendicular stakes. Now I'm going to grab my second piece, and this one I'm going to weave opposite of this first one. So I went over here, now I'm going to go under, then over, under, over, under, over. Again, finding that center mark and scooching this in so that I have little squares of space in between. I'm creating a grid pattern. I've got one more in this direction, so I'm going to go over, under, over, under, over, under. Slide this in place, and now I'm going to move my spoke weight up here and move or work from this side of the center marks towards me. So here, center mark again, referencing this stake right here. This was an over, so now I'm going to go under, over, alternating across, center mark, scooch that in just a little bit. This stake, you can see there's a bit of a bow in it. This is going to stretch out as we weave. So don't worry about the fact that the natural curvature of the reed makes it so that it kind of sits funky here. We'll stretch that out, and once the basket walls are in place, that will no longer show. I'll put my last 2 stakes in place here, weaving opposite. So we create a full grid, an even number of stakes on in both directions. So we're ending up with a square. Now I've just thrown these into place. Now we're going to true this up to square this up and reference the instruction manual for the size of this base. With your base woven and trued up, we're ready to twine the perimeter. If you're using the Textile Indie kit, go ahead and grab your bundle of round reed. We're going to be using this later on as well, so you can put the whole bundle in your water bin if you're going to be weaving this in one sitting. Otherwise, just grab 2 pieces that go around the perimeter of your basket with a little bit of overlap. So you want 2 separate pieces that loop around like this. with a little bit of extra is fine. Now I'm going to move my spoke weight out of the way and grab 2 clamps. I like to use these metal clamps because the spring is nice and strong and it ensures that it holds the reed. Twining the perimeter of a basket is like a lock stitch. It holds these stakes in place so that we can manipulate the base and start weaving the walls without the base falling apart on us. So to get started, I'm going to come up to this top portion and I'm going to go under the 4th stake here and land one of my round reeds on top of the 3rd. So I'm weaving backwards, going under the 4th one, setting it on top of the 3rd one from the left, and then I'm going to clamp this in place. And now I'm going to lay my 2nd round reed end on top of the 4th one and clamp that in place. So I have my clamps, my 2 round reed ends clamped on 2 consecutive stakes. Now to twine, use one hand to hold your round reed. This is your resting hand, and you're going to always return both round reeds to your resting hand as you work around the basket. This will ensure it doesn't get tucked under the basket, it doesn't get twisted around. It will help you stay oriented. Now the piece that's on top of this 4th stake, we're going to take and bring it behind the 5th stake here and then back to our resting hand. And now referencing the 5th stake, this piece right here is on top. It's laying on top there. We're going to go under the following stake and then press this in between. What we're trying to do ideally is get a little crisscross between the 2 stakes so that these change positions in between each stake. When you get to a corner, we're going to kind of switch up the pattern a little bit. So the one that's underneath this corner stake, we're going to gently fold. We're trying to fold it without cracking the round reed and breaking it off. And then the one that's on top is going to come out and under. We'll create another crease in that corner. You want to get that nice and tight because any excess will cause a bubble that will show once the basket's done. So we try to keep that nice and snug to begin with. Now we'll go back to our resting hand. Piece that's on top is going to go under this next stake and then back to your resting hand. And then this piece is on top now, so it's going to go under the next stake, back to your resting hand. This one's on top, goes under the next stake. And we're maneuvering this all the way around, ensuring that there's a little twist in between each stake. And to double check yourself, you can follow a strand, and if between one set of stakes you have it furthest away from the base and then it crisscrosses and now it's closest to the base, it's moved and switched positions, that indicates that you're getting the correct crisscross. Now I'm going to rotate my towel all the way around, so I'm looking at this in the same way that I started. I like to shift my base so that I can see this the same way each time. This will help you stay oriented and not get confused when you get to a corner or to a different side. Now I'm going to bring these back into my resting hand. For the corner, again, the one underneath, you crimp first, fold around that corner, and then the one that comes on top here goes under, crimp it in place, back to your resting hand. Now this piece is on top, so I'm going to go under the next spoke. This piece is on top, under the next spoke. This one's on top, under. This one's on top, under. We'll do this all the way across. I'm going to come around this corner again, shift my towel around, do my little corner crimp, and I will meet where I started and show you how to finish off the ends. When you get back to your starting side, you can take the clamps off. Those round reeds will stay in place. And then I'm going to rotate this around so that's the ends are on the top now. And I'm going to twine up until I meet these ends. So I'm going to do one more stitch. And now the cutting can be a little bit nerve-wracking because you're cutting and ending your ends. But if you find or locate these starting ends, you're going to cut each length of your ending ends, the longer ends that we've just worked with, on the same stake as one of your starting ends. So this starting end right here, I'm going to send this length all the way across to the far end or far edge of this stake, cut that right there. This one, follow along the far edge of this stake, cut it right there. If you cut it too short, it's going to fall out of the basket, slip through this gap, and it will poke out and break later. You want it to follow the full width, cut it so that these crisscross. Now these are going to get sandwiched in between the spokes as we're working and get woven in. You don't need to tuck them, just let them hang out right here. They will be fine. Now go around and upset all of your stakes to prepare them for the next step in the basket. Like and subscribe to my channel so that you get notified whenever I put out a new video. Check back next week for the next video in this series where we're going to take this base and create the cat's head bottom. And until then, check out this video for more basket weaving inspiration and tutorials. Bye.